Many people tend to remember the heroics of D-Day and the Normandy landings, and who can blame them? It was an incredibly intricate and detailed campaign that could have gone abysmally wrong if the pieces had not fallen in the right place. As we know though, the pieces did indeed fall in the right place and the landing was an ultimate success. However, there are many gritty and unglamorous details that lay in between the Allied victory in France, and the men of the 2nd Battalion of the 29th Infantry Division were unfortunate enough to fall into this category. Being overextended in an invasion is extremely dangerous. This precarious position has spelt the end of hundreds of thousands of men throughout history, and the 2nd Battalion was no different. Trudging along the thick bocage and hedges of France, the 600 men of the 2nd Battalion were tired and hungry and merely marching along the French fields in hopes of reaching Saint-Lô. What the men of the battalion didn't realize, however, was how far ahead they were of most other American units, and behind them, unknown to either side at first, was a retreating task force of the Germans of the 352nd Infantry Division, the ones who were defending Omaha Beach. Unfortunately for the Americans, whilst the Germans were retreating, they managed to spot the advancing Americans. By 2 AM, the officers of the 2nd Battalion, still unaware they were being stalked by Germans, guided the exhausted American infantrymen off the road and onto 2 pastures enclosed by hedgerows, where they could hopefully get some shut-eye. The men spread out and collapsed exhausted on the floor, while some of the more alert members of the battalion were posted to act as sentries. The relatively alert American sentries, however, were still tired and were not at full capacity, and when they heard the faint sounds of vehicle engines, they figured the other American battalions had finally caught up to them, and they had absolutely no idea that the Germans were pretty much beginning to surround the field they were resting in. The Germans went so undetected that they filtered into hedgerows and even brought 3 heavy machine guns without so much as one exhausted American noticing. Then, once set up, the Germans shot flares into the sky, illuminating the dark field. The Americans stood no chance. They were in a death trap. Squads were cut down as soon as they awoke, and the ones that tried to fight back couldn't see anything beyond the flare-lit fields. The 2nd Battalion, quickly realizing there was no way to win this battle, were forced to leave the dead and wounded behind for the time being and escape as individuals or as small groups. The retreat was chaos, and nobody knew who else had survived and what the ultimate outcome had been. All in all, the entire firefight lasted 20 minutes, and although the Germans got the jump on the Americans, it turned out the disorganized retreat helped save many lives. The Germans had killed 50 of the men and wounded or captured another 100, making for a total casualty rate of 25%. Still definitely not a number to scoff at though. To the rear, the division commander Charles Gerhard had not heard anything from his men during the whole day of June 9th. General Gerhard then rushed to the regimental command post and was still told there was no news on the men, until at around 4 AM the first batch of the 2nd Battalion stragglers started filtering through and giving the general the solemn report of what had happened. Gerhard was in absolute disbelief about what he had heard, yelling, "No security, they just went into the field and went to bed." So emotionally confronted by this event, Gerhard decided to ignore the possibility that the area that was ambushed was now under German control and went to inspect it himself. On the way there, he encountered dozens of other survivors, praising their decision to stick together and awarding them Bronze Stars. When at the site, he discovered a colonel's body with a Colt 45 still in his hand, later saying, "If you have to die, that's the way to do it." During the next day, dozens more 2nd Battalion survivors started showing up, and once everybody was accounted for, the whole battalion was reorganized and given 100 replacements as well as a new commanding officer. The ambush was over, and the men of the 2nd Battalion would continue the fight before it would end its wartime duty in Germany's industrial Ruhr and the Klotzer Forest in May of 1945. So guys, that's pretty much it for D-Day week, and I know I didn't provide comprehensive cover of the D-Day landings and everything about D-Day, so be sure to let me know what you think of our style of videos and what we should change and what we should keep, because we're always looking to improve this channel. And if you want to help directly improve this channel, make sure you check out our Patreon in the description below. It really does help improve the quality and quantity of videos produced, and you can literally see that in my old videos versus my new videos. Anyways guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new.